Hello, everyone. Let me laugh my laugh small. This is not just only just amicable. It's just it's just laughable relating to what's happening in the country. So recently, CBN has directly, I think they're going to give, is it $20,000 or whatever to BDCs daily to sell at a particular rate. But anyways, the crux of the matter is that on the 25th of February 2024, Mr. Peter Obi did put out a statement, which he usually puts out in his Twitter platform now called X. And so I'm going to put out the statement, and then you now find that there is a reaction that has come in from the government. But as usual, uh, they don't really follow the policies the way it's supposed to be done. They always find a way of bungling up things. And I think whether it's the issue of lack of capacity, lack of sincerity of purpose, or, this knee-jerk approach they are putting all out, I don't really know what it is. But anyway, as we go on, we discuss. But just to say that we know the de facto president right now, even though he's a president, I know he's a president a lot of us voted for, majority of Nigerians voted for before the rigging happened or whatever, and he hasn't disappointed. He's been on. He puts out all of these issues. He takes on issues, gives solutions, and goes. I've seen some people say that, oh no, he should stop giving. So no, he wants the betterment of the country. And like Mr. Peter Obi always says, he doesn't have to be president. As long all he wants is a Nigeria that works. So on the 25th of February, right, 2024, this was his statement. The recent reported attacks and disruption of the business activities of Bureau de Change BDCs operators in different urban centers across the country by government agencies are ill-advised and wrongly directed. Remember, there was this attack that were going on. There were even places where they were shooting. They were using EFCC police to harass. I don't know whether they arrested them, but all sorts of things, are going on there. And so Mr. Peter Obi said, rather than solve the problem, the action will further escalate and worsen the exchange rate situation in the country. The BDCs are not the primary suppliers of forex, nor do they create demand. They only provide a market to sellers and buyers of foreign currency. They are part and parcel of every economy and can be found even in the developed economies in the world. To think that the BDCs are the cause of the decline in value of the naira is a smack on rational economic thinking. The only way to show up the value of our currency is to move the country from consumption to production, says Mr. Peter Obi, especially export-led production, and fight corruption, which allows unproductive money to pursue the available supply of foreign currency, which that is so apt. Because you have people who either they've looted money through corruption, they've been able to get a lot of money somewhere, somehow, and so they just buy up, they constantly change their monies to dollar, buy them up and keep them. That's unproductive money that is just lying down somewhere. For someone who is actively using his money, whether in business or any other sort of thing, you really don't have that time. You really don't have time to go and keep that money and keep it somewhere for it to be lying around. And so these are some of the issues that the government need to focus on. Fight a lot of this corruption. You see the demand. People wanting to change their money to dollar and just keep somewhere. It's not going to be as high as it is currently up to now. And then Mr. Peter Obi continues and says, as long as Nigeria remains an unproductive economy and corruption continues unfettered with people in possession of unproductive excess cash, the value of our currency will continue to depreciate. It is important that government authorities properly understand the workings of a modern economy and channel their efforts accordingly. Sign PO. So this was Mr. Peter Obi talking about this, and one I had talked about it in a video, but I think I'm gonna just put out this tweet. I'm gonna just talk about it again. So there's this handle called Voice of Hausa, right? And so this handle, when Tinubu banned Binance, and then he came out, he was thanking Tinubu for banning Binance to crash dollar. According to him, say all the apps that have been manipulating our naira should be banned and those involved be arrested. police should start mounting checkpoints in the country and asking people to unlock their phones for search. He said this on the 21st of February. Then on the 24th of February, Tinubu went after BDC operators. And then this particular handle comes out again shamelessly because now it affects him. He says BDC operators are not the ones that floated Naira. FG did so the value could be determined by market demand and supply. The attempt to clamp down on the BDCs, who are largely Northerners and Hausa Fulani, starts condemned. So when FG was when Tinubu was banning Binance, he didn't realize, he didn't remember that it was the federal government that floated the naira, and then demand and supply will work. This is the hypocrisy that normally happens in our country, where people focus on issue except it affects them personally. That's when they call out injustice. As long as it doesn't affect them, they don't call out injustice. Anyway, that happened. That whole BDC attack and everything was happening, I think, around that 24th of February. By 25th, you saw that Mr. Peter Obi had already come out to talk about that. Then on the 27th, February 27, 2024, there is a CBN circular that come and said all Bureau de change operations and the general public, to all Bureau de change operators and the general public. It says sale of foreign exchange to Bureau de change operators to meet retail demand for eligible invisible transaction. He said following the ongoing reforms, I'm reading this thing now from this what do you call it now, from CBN. Following the ongoing reforms in the foreign exchange market aimed at achieving an appropriate market-determined exchange rate for the naira, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has observed the continued price distortions at the retail end of the market, which is feeding into the parallel market and further widening the exchange rate premium. To this end, CBN has approved the sale of foreign exchange to eligible Bureau de change to meet the demand for invisible transactions. The sum of 20,000 is to be sold to each BDC at the rate of 1,301 naira to dollar, representing the lower band rate of executed spot transaction at NAFEM for the previous trading day, as at today, 27th February 2024. All BDCs are allowed to sell to end users at a margin of not more than 1% above the purchase rate from CBN. All eligible BDCs are directed to make the naira payment to the designated CBN foreign currency deposit naira account and submit the confirmation of payment with other necessary documentation for disbursement at the appropriate CBN branches, Abuja, Awka, Lagos, and Kano. Please be guided accordingly. So let me go back again and see where I saw that 20,000. I want to see is to be sold to each at the I'm not seeing whether they say that was daily, monthly, yearly, what was that, or hourly. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know whether I missed that. To this end, has approved the sale of foreign exchange to eligible Bureau de change to meet the demand for invisible transaction. The sum of 20,000 is to be sold to each be at the rate of blah 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 as at today. This circular, it's not very specific on saying, but I'm assuming they mean $20,000 per day. Let me just bring in something for you to see how there's this economist called Kalu Aja. On X is known as FinPlan Kalu Aja 1. He says, not sure why the CBN should be funding BDCs. BDC should be marketing to diaspora and tourists, etc., to get dollars. Also, why does a BDC need 2 billion capital? That's a different matter on the, just like you need to drop money down in banks and all of that. I think that's what they have. What is the result for? When I travel, I convert at the airport and hotel and those small gift shops. So why can't all hotels, gas stations, fast food establishment, clubs, churches have BDC license? That's where the diaspora go. They can collect FS, issue change in naira, and sell the FS to BDC. But in order to say that, one of the things that we always see with incompetent government and their policies is the fact they always think they want to throw money at something. You don't need to come and be giving BDCs money. Let BDC source for their money. You remember what Mr. Peter Obi had said in his statement. They're fulfilling a particular market where there's demand and supply. People will bring money to them to sell. They will sell it, and then they will sell to the other people. Simple as ABCD. There's no need for either CBN trying to give them money, one thing or the other. That's not what is absolutely needed. What is needed is actually for the CBN to just let them be, give them an enabling environment for them to thrive. The market forces will take care of itself. Let the CBN focus on the macro, the monetary policies that will lead to, first of all, a reduction of this whole inflation that we have. I see they're already doing part of those things, the increasing the MPCs and all of that. Look for what to do to work on the monetary policies and be able to reduce this high inflation that we have right now. Work on that. Look for ways that people will want to bring in investment into the country. Look for ways for people to be able to, businesses to thrive and then be able to borrow money. And of course, monetary policies at this moment cannot work without the fiscal policies, and that's where the federal government and Ministry of Finance comes in to ensure that they're putting more into the economy, more projects, things that are supposed to be done for them, there to be more money in people's hand and increase the disposable income of citizens. And it's a whole lot of things. And as I'm talking, I'm just trying to remember my economies that I did, because I did macroeconomics at the level just some weeks ago. So I'm just reading, and in my head I'm like, okay. When people ask me, why are you still in school, I said, these are some of the things for me to, not that I'm going to be an expert, but just to have a little bit of understanding of these things when they are being spoken about. Thank you so much. I think this video is already too long anyways, but don't forget that Mr. Peter Obi is our president. That's the person we voted for, and we know it. They know it, even if they're